We've got the BMW X1 and we have had lots of requests for this.
Hard to get. That's why we went to Brian Jessel BMW. Thanks to Brian for letting us borrow this car for a couple of days. We actually bought 2 BMWs from them. Let's go for a ride. Oh yeah, we're in the X1. We have had a lot of people asking about this. Andrea, let's get to the business end. What's under the hood?
A 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine with an 8-speed automatic transmission, 228 horsepower, and 258 pound-feet of torque.
It's a shared platform with Mini. BMW owns Mini. They co-developed this. It's used as the Countryman, and in the X1, I think this one is better. We'll get into that and we'll talk about it actually in Questions, Coffee, and Cars.
Yep.
But right now, we're going to get into the key standard features. What do you get with an X1?
The base model X1 comes with an 8.8-inch touchscreen with iDrive, Apple CarPlay, heated leatherette front seats, brushed aluminum trim, leather sports steering wheel, power driver and passenger seats, driver seat memory, 18-inch wheels, run flat tires, collision warning, and lane departure warning.
Sport, Eco, what else can we put it in?
You've got to put it in S for subscribe, and if you can hit the notification bell, it really supports the channel. You'll be notified when all the videos drop, and then you can watch them.
5 videos a week. We do a lot. This couple car review every Wednesday.
We drop another couple car review on Saturday.
We do the live show on Monday.
It's always a comparison on Tuesday.
And a cool old collectible car on Friday. And if you want to find out what videos are dropping and get a question in, follow Andrea. It's Motormouth_Andrea on Instagram. For me, it's Motormouth_Auto, and the links are below. This video is brought to you by Car Cost Canada. Get the dealer's cost, list of rebates, plus discounted interest rates. Use the promo code Motormouth to become an expert member and get extra searches. The link is in the description below. Now, it's been a couple of years for me since I've driven the X1, but we did have the Countryman earlier in the year. I like that, but I think this is better.
The Countryman was super fun to drive. This, though, is so dynamic, also fun. I love the steering on this. It is so crisp. It's a little bit heavier than something like a Q3. I think it's terrific.
And of course it has more power. BMW charges a bit more, they give you more power. And I think I'd take that every day of the week. And you know what, Andrea? The one thing I gotta say, it's just sitting in the car looking out.
Yeah.
This has a huge front window and a low dash because it's based primarily on a front-wheel drive platform. So you get this fantastic field of view.
Yeah, you're right, Zach. It does feel more open and wider considering it's a smaller SUV. I really like the exterior of this. It kind of has an athletic look. You can get a chrome grille and chrome accents, but we have the M Sport package, and that's where you see black accents throughout, the black high gloss grille, and it comes with 18-inch wheels in this M Sport package, but we've upgraded in this test model $500 Canadian for 19-inch wheels.
You know, we're going to touch on the Sport package coming up in Questions, Coffee, and Cars, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But I think that this is a great looking little vehicle, and we should also mention that BMW was the very first in this class to come out with a premium compact utility. They're getting set for a 3rd generation where a lot of other brands are coming up with their 2nd.
Yes, this X1 came out in 2009, and it wasn't the Audi Q3 that came out until 2011, and then the others followed after that.
Let's touch on the inside because this is probably the biggest differentiator between this and other small luxury utilities is how much space you get.
Yeah, you definitely get it. Like even compared to the Mini Countryman, the Countryman does offer ½ an inch more second row space than this, but it's the cargo space, and that's why I keep saying this is well packaged, because you've got plenty of front legroom, second row, and then you get that cargo space.
So it's fun to drive.
Yeah.
It looks cute, and I think the interior doesn't feel like you're driving a small utility.
Not at all, and this has a very simple and clean interior. I think that is actually a bonus for this because the interior has only been tweaked along the way, and if there's a new model coming out, I'm sure that BMW is going to freshen this up. The screen is an okay size. It's an 8.8-inch touchscreen that comes standard. On the Q3, you also get that same size, but the thing is, you can upgrade on the Q3 to a larger screen screen. This is it for this model.
But you know my theory on that.
I do.
My theory is you're using the same stuff over and over. You're just making it slightly bigger. It's your phone, it's your music, it's maybe some navigation. But what I like about this is all of the stuff that works in modern cars, they've left it alone. There's a proper shifter. There's real buttons for the radio. There's real buttons for the climate control. The screen, you can use the controller or you can touch it. It's so well done. I mean, everybody is happy whether you're a techie or not, you can use this car.
Yeah, we've got the M Sport package in this. It's 1,950 Canadian. You get the sport seats and you also get this sport steering wheel, which is fabulous.
So Andrea always goes through and does all the research and picks the best value package. What is the must-have on this one?
So I would get the premium package. You know, I want the heated steering wheel, a panoramic sunroof, the ambient lighting, these sorts of features. There is another package that is just over $6,000. Total, so $3,000 more than this premium package. And that's where you're gonna find features like the head-up display, power folding side mirrors, and a power liftgate. If those are important to you, then maybe get that trim as well. But for me, the premium package is perfect.
The thing about a BMW, Andrea has the must-have package. I agree with her on that. You can go sky's the limit if you want, and it really comes down to that.
There are two key misses in this X1, no blind spot monitoring and no Android Auto.
Ooh, all right. You have questions. Let's get to them and have some coffee.
Time now for questions, coffee, and cars.
Your questions from Instagram.
How does it compare to the X3 overall? Well, the X3 has more horsepower than this. The X3 is longer, wider, taller.
But the X3 also available with the beautiful inline 6-cylinder if you have the budget for it. But if you're just looking to move people around and space, this one's actually really good.
This actually has half an inch more legroom in the second row than the X3. But the X3 has a little bit more cargo space, of course.
A little bit wider in the X3 as well. So those are the kinds of dimensions you'll notice, and you sit up a little bit higher. But this is, for moving people around, it's a fantastic product.
Yeah, for sure. How does this vehicle compare with fully loaded compacts like the CX-5? Does it feel more premium? What would you choose? Well, the CX-5 is bigger than this for sure. The CX-5 has that turbo engine which offers more horsepower and torque, and we can both agree that the Mazda's fit and finish is beautiful. You can also pick up a CX-5 for under $41,000 fully loaded. But it's not a premium vehicle.
I would say that even, you know, the top trim of the Mazda products with their turbo engine doesn't drive as dynamically as this. You got to remember, this is a shared platform with Mini. Both brands bring to the table excellent road dynamics. So yes, that Mazda's a good product, but I don't think it's in the same league as this.
No, and interestingly enough, you know, when it comes to price point, although you get a fully loaded CX-5, people really want to make the stretch for something like a X1 to drive a luxury brand.
BMW on the hood means a lot to a lot of people.
Or you could get a CX-30 turbo for less, and it's even quicker. True, the turbo engine is quicker, but we go back to that same point. Yes, you could buy a CX-30 turbo for under $37,000, but it's not a luxury brand.
It doesn't have independent rear suspension. Trust me, on the handling front, I think this is aces. And this feels so dynamic and fun. As good as that Mazda product is, it's kind of like a low-end torquey engine. This one's a little peakier, it's more fun.
The BMW X1 is most likely the class winner as far as driving dynamics are concerned. Does the X1 feel too firmly dampened over urban city roads? Do these impacts make their way into the passenger cabin, causing any discomfort?
Can I start?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. For any BMW, not just this product, you have to drive with and without the Sport package.
Yeah.
I don't know why it is with BMW, but it's one of the most dramatic changes that you can get on any of their products. So if you're interested in this, drive it without the Sport pack. You'll find that it's more compliant. Now over to Andrea about the tires.
Well, we have the M Sport package on this, and yes, it does offer a bumpier ride, especially when you're on a rough road. I wouldn't say it causes any discomfort in the cabin.
Well, you feel everything. You feel the
road. everything. But this has run flat tires, and it definitely increases the noise in the cabin for sure. Something like an XC40 is very quiet, as well as the GLA.
And that's why when you go up to the X3, you get a slightly larger vehicle, a bit heavier, a bit wider. That's where you get a little bit more of a compliant ride.
So true. And that's it. Thank you for all your questions, for participating in our segment. We love interacting with all of you.
Motormouth_Andrea to get your questions in. And now, because you hear the music, it's time for Nightlife. We keep one question back from Questions, Coffee, and Cars and expand on it. It's our hot topic. What's this one, Andrea?
With strong competition from the new GLA, Q3, and XC40, is the X1 still competitive?
The quick answer, oh hell yeah. This is still a great product.
Yeah, fantastic, really. I think that they're all different. They all have some pros and cons.
That's true. They're very different.
They're all different. And, you know, if you want a really quiet cabin, go with the XC40. It offers a smooth and comfortable drive. If you want something dynamic, go with the X1. The GLA is quite well-rounded, I think.
That's a good all-rounder.
Yeah. And the Q3, which we both really like, has lighter steering, and it doesn't offer things like driver's seat memory. So if you're looking for that, you might say, the Q3 is out.
Also, that Q3 is a very simple interior.
Yeah.
You know, you can see its Volkswagen roots. This feels more premium, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. Overall, they are all excellent vehicles, and we are blessed with so many choices. You have to drive them all if you want to buy something in this category, because like we said, they all offer something different.
And also, don't forget, sport and not sport package in this to see the difference. Now, we've touched on all of the competitors. Let's get into it. What else can you buy, and how much does it cost?
For your consideration, 4 vehicles for you to consider.
First up is the Audi Q3 with a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. It has the same 228 horsepower as the X1 and a starting price of $39,250.
Next up, the Mercedes-Benz GLA with a 221 horsepower 2-liter 4-cylinder engine. It starts at almost $42,500.
The Volvo XC40 T5 with 248 horsepower and a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder. It has a starting price of just under $43,000.
Next is the Cadillac XT4 with a 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder. More power though, 237 horsepower and a starting price of just over $36,000. So there are 4 premium small utilities for you to consider. So this category, Andrea, whether it's premium or not, is the fastest growing segment in the auto industry worldwide, and for good reason. With the packaging and the way they do this, you get loads of space.
Yeah.
You don't have to spend as much, and more fun to drive. It's a win-win.
It's a win-win. I would be happy with this as my daily driver.
Absolutely.
It is fantastic in the city. I've been bombing around, headed downtown. Parallel parking is a breeze. I mean, what more could you ask for?
What are people asking for, Andrea? They're asking for the vital stats.
Let's start with pricing. The X1 in Canada comes standard with all-wheel drive and starts at just under $40,000. The next trim up comes in at almost $42,500. JD Power gives the X1 an overall score of 74 out of 100 and quality and reliability 71 out of 100. Car Edge states the BMW X1 will retain 50% of its value after 5 years.
Here's the fuel economy. The X1 gets 10.3 liters per 100 kilometers in the city, 7.7 on the highway. That works out to 23 miles per gallon city, 31 miles per gallon highway. The warranty is 4 years and 80,000 kilometers, 50,000 miles. In Canada, you get no charge scheduled maintenance for 4 years. Lightning round. 2 things you like, 2 things you like to see improved.
Well, I love how this handles and drives, and I love the heavier steering on this. What I'd like to see is Android Auto, maybe a wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto option, and blind spot monitoring, please.
Same 2 things for me. I love the handling, I love the power. I'd like to see the packaging change so you don't have to go for one package to get the heated steering wheel and another package to get the liftgate.
Yeah.
And I'd also like to see Android Auto thrown in there. Come on, we're Android users.
We need it. That's a must. The X1 is dynamic, fun to drive, and it's well packaged.
First mover advantage for sure with BMW. They invented this category in the premium space. They're getting set for a new one, and it shows they know what they're doing.
And a huge thank you to Brian Jessel BMW for lending us this X1 for a few days. We really appreciate it.
This video is brought to you by Car Cost Canada. Get the dealer's cost, list of rebates, plus discounted interest rates. Use the promo code Motormouth to become an expert member and get extra searches. The link is in the description below.